What's up, junkies? Welcome back in for another edition of Pigskin Junkies. Myself, Michael Larson, big brother Jared Larson, here to talk college foosball. We're in November. Woo! It is time to crank it up.
A lot of season.
Yeah, a lot of games and gun to our head later because we got a lot of ranked matchups this week. I think we got like 5, so that's exciting. But Jared, overall, what do you think of the card?
I like it a lot, actually. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 selections, including a Friday night game. And I had to pare it back a little bit. I could have made probably 10 official selections for the card. So keep your eyes peeled to Twitter. I need a little bit more information on a couple games, but feel good about it. Like it almost as much as I liked the card 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and you did.
I was 5-1.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're 5-1 2 weeks ago, correct?
Correct.
There you go.
So I like it. How many you got? Probably not 7.
No, I have. Let me get a head count here. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, 5.
Okay, so I'll start. I was gonna say, with all these Mississippis, is that some foreshadowing for later?
No, I will not be betting either of the Mississippi schools.
Yeah, it's. I'll be watching. I'm actually intrigued in both of those games. I just don't know that there's as much of a letdown for LSU this year, but I could be wrong. So I'm staying away from that. That game is, for me, at least, Ole Miss or pass. Not interested in laying over 3 touchdowns in a huge letdown spot on the road. Mm-hmm. For the Bayou Bengals. Game number 1 for me is tonight. If you're listening to this on Friday, click, log in. Fresno State Bulldogs getting 1 at San Diego State. I think this Fresno team, candidly, is much better than their record indicates at 4-5, and I think that the opposite is true of San Diego State at 7-2. They've won a lot of one-score games. Fresno's been on the wrong side of those one-score games. I think these teams are a lot more evenly matched. Also, yeah, I mean, that's one of them. Mm-hmm. And I think these teams are a lot more evenly matched than records would indicate. And as a consequence, I will take Fresno at plus the 1, call it a pick'em, in what I expect to be a pretty low-scoring game. Rocky Long loves to play these knockdown, drag-out, like 10-7. So I won't be watching any of this one because it's 9:30, and I'll probably be in bed after the first quarter. But and it'll be an ugly game, but doesn't mean we can't make any money. Fresno plus 1.
Yeah, I like that one. Fresno is always a team that I feel like this is when they thrive, when they're just kind of under the radar. Yep.
No one's paying attention.
Yep, exactly. When the spotlight comes on them, they're like a turtle. They just go into their
melt.
Shell. Uh-huh. They should have beat Minnesota the last 2 seasons that they've played. But that's
I bet on them last year, not this year, but they definitely should have won last year.
Antoine Winfield Jr. Interception to win the game both times. Yeah, I know. Looking like making his dad proud. Definitely last Saturday against Penn State. First pick for me, and I'm just going to keep going against it, even though I know it's a rivalry game. But I got Michigan at minus 14 against Michigan State. This seems to be a Michigan team that's found their stride offensively. Their defense is extremely stout, which is great because Michigan State's offense is like watching 3 blind mice try and find
putrid.
Cheese.
Walk down the street, yeah.
Yeah. It's no bueno. So that's where I just think Michigan, I think this is like 24 to like 3 type of game.
Michigan State puked it so bad last week against Illinois. I don't know how they recover.
This is going to be one of those years where they just take it in the teeth and then they'll come back. Something will happen and they'll become relevant again. But right now it's not pretty. Not pretty.
Yeah, I want no part of this game. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I will not be playing that laying 14 points with Michigan. I'm just not sold on their offense. We will keep it with my second selection in the Big Ten. Hold on to your butts, plug your nose, whatever you want to do.
No.
Rutgers.
Oh.
The State University of New Jersey plus 53 points.
I know.
Sweet mother of mercy. This is enough points for Thanksgiving dinner.
I know.
So precedent here, this is the third time in history that a Power 5 game has a team playing another team in their conference. Excuse me, no, not Power 5. In Power 5, an in-conference game where the spread has been 50 or larger. The first time was 1996 with Nebraska. They beat, I believe it was Colorado. No, it was never mind. It was Baylor or somebody in the Big 12. Anyways, I'll have to look it up. I did the research and didn't write it down like an idiot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a rookie.
They did not win. Second time was Oklahoma Baylor. Baylor was favored by 52, I believe, and won the game by 39 or 40. So I think Ohio State made their statement last week against Maryland. I think going forward into the future, they've made their statement. They're really just going to be checking boxes to make sure they win. This is all about getting right prior to, of course, Penn State in 2 weeks, or rather next week, excuse me, and then Michigan, of course, at the end of the season. So I think you'll see the backups early and often here, and I will plug my nose. I don't want to pretend like it's comfortable. Probably have to get an extra bottle of Pepto for this weekend, but I will take the Rutgers Scarlet Knights plus 53.
Forward to the future, not back to the future, folks. That would be Scott would be proud of that movie reference, Jared.
I was like, I don't even know what that means, but go ahead. Yeah, sure, fine.
So we'll dive into this together because I think this is one of your games. I got Auburn plus 3. I think it's kind of insane that a Georgia offense like this is going to Jordan-Hare Stadium, where I believe I'm going to pull up the stat here while you share your little bit on this game, Jared. But Georgia doesn't. I don't see the mathematical equation of this. Georgia wants to run the football. Auburn, you're not going to run the ball through the middle of this defense.
No.
And Georgia's just going to keep trying and eventually just get their teeth kicked in. Bo Nix at home is a totally different player.
Yeah, I mean, so when I look at this game and I see this number, I don't think Georgia should be laying points, and here's why. The offense that we've seen from the Georgia Bulldogs has been mediocre at best all season. I have said it multiple times. The defense that we have this year is all world. Everyone wants to talk about LSU. You got to remember, we held LSU to 23 points at their place. You will not run the ball on this front four. It is not going to be in the DNA of the Georgia offense. That's how they get everything going. So you start putting them into third and longs. They're on the road. We know what the environment's going to be like in Jordan-Hare on till 2:30, I guess, local in the afternoon on Saturday. And I think Jake Fromm is going to be in a lot of really tough situations. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 11. These obvious passing downs where, and you and I have talked about this before, Micah, our back seven is so good at tackling in space, and I don't see the downfield threat from the Georgia team that's going to take the lid off of this Auburn football team to where they're going to be able to convert these 3rd and longs with any type of regularity. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to hit a couple plays, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to score. But when I look at the anticipated points for Georgia, I would bet Georgia total under. I would expect that Auburn is able to, as you alluded to, with Bo Nix as a different player at home, able to score enough points to stay in the game. Now, he is, in my opinion, unequivocally the wild card in this game. So, can Georgia win this game? Of course they can. There's a reason that the team is favored. They got dudes on defense just like we do. But when I look at the breakdown of this game, I just don't expect Georgia to run away with it. And the question really is, does Bo Nix play like the Bo Nix that we've seen at home earlier in the season, or does he look more like the Bo Nix against quality opponents a la Oregon, a la LSU, a la Florida on the road or in neutral sites that candidly has made freshman mistakes? So, I'll take the 3 points. I'd take a little dabble on the money line because I think it's getting back 40 or 50 cents. A lot of people are going to think this is a homer, but again, this is the one team where I can actually talk X's and O's and strategy, and I just don't see how Georgia scores a significant amount of points. And if you're going to tell me that is the case, that's not a team that I'm lining up to lay points with.
Wins and losses for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs on the road versus SEC West teams, 0-3. Points per game differential, minus 24.7.
Yeah. I mean, bloodbaths.
Mm-hmm.
One of which happened 2 years ago when we waxed that ass.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Everyone forgets about that one because they re-waxed us, 3 weeks later.
SEC championship game. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a blowout. So I'll be at a wedding, fortunately or unfortunately for me, but I will be locked in to this game once the ceremony's over.
Not just at a wedding, in a wedding, so it's a little different. Yeah. Next,
try my best out here.
Do you want me to go?
Loyal listener of the show.
Yeah. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. Fire away.
Next up, I'm going to keep the Homer train going with the 3 number. And that is Minnesota going on the road to Iowa. It's been 20 years, folks. But this is a year of things changing. They're doing things they haven't done since the 40s, the 1906, 1960s. This is a team that's breaking a lot of records, and Morgan proved me wrong last week. I think I said on the recap show I was very impressed with how he played, and he seems to just play big in big games. Wisconsin last year, he had a phenomenal game. And this team continues to progress every single week. I like their chances against Iowa. I know this could be kind of a letdown spot per se, but I feel like you're going to look more at a letdown spot next week versus Northwestern before the Wisconsin game. So that's my 2 cents on it. I get the high emotional yada, 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 but I think that this is a team that's playing very intentionally and is not losing sight of what the magnitude of this game is too. Yes, it was big to win a home game. Now you got to go on the road and beat a ranked opponent as well. I'm constantly impressed with this defense. Antoine Winfield Jr., as aforementioned on the podcast, is really anchoring the back of this defense. He's all over the field. Iowa, I don't think, can really throw the ball, and I think they're going to get 1 or 2 costly turnovers, and that'll be the difference in a game.
Row the boat, Sky Umah, go Gophers.
Yep.
Micah, you can have my seat on the bandwagon. I was on last week. Micah was off. I'm getting off this week, and Micah will be taking my place. I will take the Iowa Hawkeyes, lay the 3 points. This line reeks. Kinnick, 4 o'clock, pink locker rooms. This smells of like 18, 17, 15, 14, 16, 12. Some type of just garbage field goal safeties nonsense from my Iowa Hawkeyes. And I'll take the Hawks giving the 3 at home.
Wait, hold on. I got Minnesota plus 3.
Yeah. As I said, given. I'm flubbed up. I was looking at a different number on my sheet. I was looking at the Auburn plus 3. Iowa minus 3. I will lay the lumber. Minnesota, different team on the road this year, and I think you've seen that earlier in the season. And I think I have quite a bit of respect for this Iowa team. And, I favored. I think it should not be questioned that I was favored this week. Number. I don't know. The question is, one, I think Kinnick's worth more than 3 points. But then secondarily, I still think that Iowa's a little bit of a better team than the Gophers are. So call it on a neutral. So I'd probably make this game 4 or 5, and we'll lay the short 3 with Iowa.
Really? So I guess that puts it back on me. I got a lot of the Gundar head games. We got 3 of the 5 for me here. Next up, I got the Midshipmen.
Ooh.
Taking on the Fighting Irish. I got 7.5 on Navy. Notre Dame, yes, if you look statistically, they have a pretty solid run defense, but if you really dive into it, it's kind of a sham. If you look at them versus top 50 rush offenses, they give up quite a bit of yards on the ground. And surprise, surprise, Navy is a top 50 rush offense. And I just think that this is a game, I don't know if they win, but I think Notre Dame maybe wins by like 4 or 5. If they lose this game, Notre Dame loses, Kelly's gone. Urban Meyer, you're the next head coach of Notre Dame.
No way.
Yes.
Urban's not going back. Never going back.
He's going back. He's going back only for Notre Dame, though.
I think you're wrong, but we'll see. The coaching carousel is going to be lit this offseason. I can't wait. I also am on the midshipman, Micah, so this will solve our gun-to-the-head conundrum. Plus 7.5. I've been fading Notre Dame all year, so this is extremely on brand for me. Should not be surprised. I do like a little dabble here on the money line. I feel like this is a game that Navy can win. I think 230 or 240 right now is the prices that I'm seeing out in the marketplace. So I really like Navy. I think they consistently make a bigger deal out of this than Notre Dame does. Notre Dame's sellout streak is going to end allegedly this coming Saturday, which is, I don't know, I look at that as a fugazi. Some booster will come in and buy up all the tickets, and it will be a, quote, sellout, but
a lot of empty
still
seats.
Yeah, stupid. I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. But
Auburn does it too, though.
Yeah, well, but we also don't say we've had X number of sellouts in a row. Like, that's the most Notre Dame thing in the world to do, that claim that you've had all these sellouts when the stadium sits 15% empty. But you can tell my lack of respect for the institution of Notre Dame. But I'll pass on them, and I'll take Navy.
All right, which means back the Brinks truck up on Notre Dame. The last pick for me, I got the Florida Gators traveling to Missouri, and they will be taking down the Tigers, I think, pretty handedly. I watched this Missouri team last week and I wanted to spoon my eyes out.
No Kelly Bryant last week. He's back.
I don't care. It was so bad. And I get it. This is a Missouri team that has had Florida's numbers like the last 3 years. But I think that changes. Mullen's just going to be solid offensively like he is. And then I don't think Missouri is strong enough offensively to really challenge this Florida defense.
Ooh, another head-to-head. I will take the Missouri Tigers plus the 7 points. Kelly Bryant back in the mix. Do not read into anything last week with Florida. Vanderbilt stinks. Trask going on the road, not sold. Mullen's a great coach. I don't have to justify anything that he's done there. You can look at the results and understand the quality that he's bringing to the program. But Missouri's had their number. Jekyll and Hyde, I expect them to get right and potentially get the outright win against the Gators, which I have been calling for basically since the middle of the season. So I feel like Florida's just kind of should have lost a couple games. Kentucky and Miami most notably, and I think this is one where they trip up a little bit at the end of the season. I'll take Missouri.
Oh, boom. And then you got one more?
You done? Yeah, I got one more.
Yep, I'm done.
Iowa State Cyclones lay the wood -7. This line stinks. Iowa State is 5-4. Texas is ranked somehow, mainly because
they're Texas.
Their colors are burnt orange and white, and the team name is Texas. And that's really all. So I think you'll see a lot of public play here from or on Texas, excuse me. And I look to lay the lumber with Zach Purdy and my boys up in Ames, who I still love. And similar story to them, actually, what's the other team? Fresno, that's lost quite a bit of close calls, been on the wrong side of a lot of coin flips, and I expect them to get right. This whole Tom Herman as an underdog thing is losing steam, and I will be on the Cyclones and happily lay the lumber in Jack Trice Stadium.
Jared loves the state of Iowa. Are you sure you don't you don't want to move there?
No, I don't. I definitely have no desire at all to live there. I do like their football team, so I never really did like Iowa State till Matt Campbell showed up.
That's fair.
That wasn't like a thing. Have been a fan of Iowa for longer, but Iowa State not so much. But I like what they got going on there. I like what they got cooking with Matt Campbell. If Gus Malzahn winds up going to Arkansas, I hope we hire him.
We'll just start rowing the boat real early.
No way. No chance he gets hired at Auburn.
No. Because he would bring the row the boat thing, and that would not fly with boosters.
Not fly. Yeah. No, that's we can't. We say one thing here, and it's not row the boat.
And by one thing we say, go Tigers, War Eagle, the Plainsman. So
we just say War Eagle. Nobody says go Tigers. Everyone says War Eagle.
Everyone says War Eagle, but sometimes you say go Tigers. Come on, Tigers.
No, there's only one person that says go Tigers.
Get up and go. Yeah, sure. I love that.
Did you see that he compared his comments in the post game to the conversation you have with your family around the dinner table?
Oh, jeez. That's unreal. So, what of the gun to your head games have you not hit yet? I'm trying to think here. You need. So I hit for ranked games. We both did Auburn, Georgia. We both did Minnesota and Iowa. Both did Navy, Notre Dame. And then next up, Baylor versus Oklahoma. Minus 10.5 for the Sooners.
This is just barf town. For whatever reason, I cannot seem to get a vibe on this Oklahoma team. I thought they were going to blow Iowa State out last week, and it looks like they were. And then they just haven't really played a consistent 4 quarters. I got to lean to Baylor here. I mean, it's 10.5 at home. Baylor continues to not receive any respect from anyone, despite the fact that they're 9-0. So I'll take Sick'em Bears plus 10.5.
Yeah, I'm going with Sick'em too. I can't. I've been on Iowa. God, you got me thinking about Iowa. I've been on Oklahoma a lot this year, and they just keep letting me down. I thought, and I had Jalen Hurts Heisman talk going for a while, and now I lost that money too. So that's exciting. But
I was happy about that ticket because I had one too.
Yeah, and then Joe Burrow. I wish I would have dove in on Joe Burrow at the start of the year.
Joey B was like 200 to 1 to start the season.
Would have been rolling in it right now. And then last, he's winning it. I mean, unless something catastrophic happens, he's winning the Heisman.
Yep.
The last game, Penn State versus Indiana, Hoosiers plus 14.5.
I'll take the points. I'll take the Hoosiers. Pretty big look ahead spot here for Penn State with Ohio State on deck. Indiana's played tough. They've played hard all year, and at 7-2, I expect them to keep it inside the number here. A couple touchdowns. That back door will be swinging open with a competent offense from the Hoosiers. Can't believe I am getting to the window with them, but
you're not
off the mat spot to Penn State.
But...
I might. It actually was on the list of the final cuts.
Yeah, it was left at the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Just almost to the table, but not quite.
Correct.
So to recap for me, I got Michigan minus 14, Auburn plus 3, Minnesota plus 3, Navy plus 7.5, Florida minus 7.
We got lots of heads up this week.
We do.
For Jared, Fresno plus 1. State University of New Jersey plus 53. Iowa laying 3. Navy plus 7.5. Watching my money go up in flames on Kent State right now. Or maybe I should say watching my money go up in flashes. Navy Auburn plus 3. Iowa State Cyclones. Man, I am so on brand this week. Minus 7.
Yeah, I know.
Mizzou plus 7. Cash it. Winners.
Nothing but winners.
Front ways, back ways, parlays, teasers. Actually, don't do that in college. Just straight bets.
Yeah. Teasers in college, I feel like he could really...
Stupid. There's no... The variance is way too high.
Yeah.
These guys look like they're freezing.
I have a mosquito flying around my house, and it's been flying around for about a week now. and he has sucked, I think, at least 2 liters of blood out of my body, and I can't kill the bastard. And he doesn't leave the living room. He just hangs out in here. He's like, he's coming. He'll be here.
Yeah, the
just
food's
in time
coming.
for dinner.
His dinner and your dinner. A little both.
Jeez. So I'm gonna go try and find and kill this mosquito, and watch this Thursday night football game. Thank you so much for tuning in, junkies. I'm Michael Larson. That's Jared Larson. We're out of here.
See ya.